Good. Sorry, we had some issues with the connection, but we back. So look, we're gonna pick up about we're gonna excuse me. We're gonna talk about like how the process is working in our lives, right? And so Ben, tell us how the process is working in your life, bro.
Man, let me say, like, the process is working in my life by actually doing some work, where my life is at right now, I do a lot more traveling now. Like people that follow me on social media and stuff like that, they see, like, I'm a real big sports fan. I was able to go down to the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
I go to spring training. The process is working because of the fact that, I'm doing some work and I value my life now. Like, I'm not just trying to rip and run out on these streets and oppress the streets. I impress myself by doing some things, and I do a lot of fun things in life. It's so much fun that I have, if it's going to, the football game, the baseball game, and you even know, like, when me Crash and all of us be on there every football season, throwing memes at each other and all type of stuff like that. It's just like, being a part of now, being, just having fun in life. So the process is working through that right there, just enjoying life,
Well, they say in the program, what we need most, right, is a personality change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you can, listen, when you're active addiction, man, you turn into like the worst kind of person, right?
Exactly.
Like your attitude be funky.
Exactly.
Like you like to talk to people like, you know what I mean? And then, so you treat people like you don't love yourself.
Exactly.
And so when you start loving yourself and you change, man, then other people can see the love, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got for you, so you're able to show it to them.
Absolutely.
Right? So for me, man, and they say all the time, ain't no sense of being in a 12-step program if you ain't gonna do the 12 steps.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So the steps is important, man. We got a lot of things that we talk about that they say, right? So you could be anywhere in the world, right? And you might hear somebody say, keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you may, so these are just things you might hear, because you might need help. And so we got our own language and our own lingo, right? So, you know what I mean? People say time take time. You know what I mean? These all things we say in the fellowship, right? So, like, listen out, right? Cause you're here, like, we don't just talk, talk. Like, we got our own language, right? And so, the language is for the community, right? Cause that's what we are, a community of people, right? Doing active things to change our lives for the better, right? And trying to help other people do the same. Cause the only way we keep what we got is to give it to somebody else, man. And so, the parallel, man, is like one addict helping another, man. Man, that's so vital, man.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what you think about sponsorship, man?
Oh man, sponsorship is key. Without sponsorship, like some of these things and some of the issues I talked about, I wouldn't be able to get through that. So I have a sponsor where I can just bust it up and talk to them about whatever. I was never one of them type of people that thought sponsorship would be a hard thing to do.
Mm.
I know what I did look out for was somebody that was going to really be there for me, because I'm manipulative. You know what I mean? I'll try to find my own way to redirect things and redo things. So I had to get with a sponsor that was going to be on me, and I could tell them type of things like, yo, I need you to check me on certain things.
Right.
Call me out on it. I'm not that big tough guy that I perceive myself to be. I'm just somebody in the show that really wants help, And I asked him, like, yo, please help me, I got a lot going on with myself, like, don't let me try to manipulate my way through this. And we have an understanding. So the sponsorship is real key. That helps me out a whole lot.
Yeah. So, that was my struggle, man, in the beginning, man.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't telling these chumps nothing, man.
Right.
And these jokers, these jokers suckers, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I thought, but they say being fatally hip, right?
Yeah.
Keep you sick, right?
Exactly.
And so I was hip, slick, and cool, but I was still using.
Exactly.
Right? I was still caught up in the grip, right?
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until that I actually, my sponsor, right? I talk on Cloud, my sponsor.
Okay, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So and when I got with him, man, it was something. Like, yeah, young boy, sit down and shut up. I mean, he still be checking me, right?
Yeah.
But he still, little bro, I love you, man. You know what I mean? And he always say, man, I love your recovery, man. I love your zest. I love your enthusiasm. And that's, you know what I mean? And I ain't get that from the other guy, man. Cause I don't know if they were scared of me, they were a little intimidated.
Right, and like I said, that goes a long way who you have as a sponsor. Because, you know, like, if I feel as though I can get over on somebody, like, I'm just using a sponsor to have a sponsor to say I got one by name. But no, when you got somebody that's good that you and Cloud can work out because y'all know each other and he know how to interact with you. And it'll be real with you, you know what I mean? Like, he put the time in, so of course why would you want to walk with somebody that's already doing that, you know?
But, you know, and ain't no, listen, you gonna have some situations, and recovery don't mean life's gonna be easy.
Right.
You gonna have some struggles, you gonna have some strife. Man, you know, me and Kyle, we was in Atlanta at the convention, and we having the best time of our life. And we arguing in the hotel, 1 o'clock, he's screaming at me, and I'm screaming at him, but nobody else was around, right? And I'm telling him, you don't listen. He's telling me, no, you don't listen, right? But when we got home, man, we was able to come back, you know, and so we had to get a third party, you know, my old head Q. When Q just called, right? You know, Q had to say, man, you know, call your man.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I ain't call your man.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I had to call my sponsor today. Look, he said, just tell him you know what you need. You know what I mean? And we was able to get through that, man.
Exactly.
And so that's the thing, man. It's always about the conversation. See, because I used to have unexpected, you know what I mean, unrealistic expectations. I used to think, so somebody might say, oh, yeah, boy, Ben was talking about you. And so every time I see you, I'm like, man,
yeah.
But it ain't until I talk to you, and then, you know, man, Jay, man, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's how simple it is. So that's why I understand now how important, like, having the conversation with, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't just, you know what I mean? Just don't go off of what Joe Blow said. But talk to that person, man. Because, you know, where we come from, man, ain't no, that's what he said, I'm going at it.
Right. you know, it's funny you say that because that's one of the toughest things I have to deal with, you know, because there's a lot of different personalities and stuff around the room and stuff like that, right? So I fall back because I know how I am already. Okay. The one thing I don't want to do is get into it with somebody that's trying to get another day like I am. But at the same time, I just don't allow people in my business. I don't bite back. I don't bite back. I don't backbite nobody. You know what I mean? I stay like a straight stand-up dude because I know how it is for me. So I try not to let other people in my circle. You know, I fellowship with a lot of people, but I'm not one of them type of dudes where I'm saying it's about that person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to get another day clean.
Another day.
And the people are also like, you know, talking about other people and all that type of stuff. I stay away from that stuff because that chatter and all that stuff can have me going right back out there. You know what I mean? I can quickly start some stuff, and next thing you know, I'm running right back out there because now I'm all caught up in this, I'm all caught up in that. I try to let this process be as easy as possible, you know, and just, I'm so laid back, I'm so humble, and that's the results, that's the benefit what I'm getting. Like, I have a humble life right now. You know, if I wanted drama and all that, I can go back on the block and start some stuff out there. You know what I mean? You know, and the way I think, you know, we think different. We come from the streets. You know what I mean? And I don't want to bring that street mentality back into the rooms, and because one thing we do know, you do go to jail in this process. You know, you know, you put your hands on somebody, you go in there and start stabbing, you going to jail, point blank. You know, so like, I be mindful of all that type of stuff, man. And life is great, you know.
So another phrase we use is easy does it. So you just talking about doing it easy, right? Just, you know what I mean? Yeah, lay back, right?
Yeah. You know, I just try to stay away from the drama, you know. I show up, you know. I go in, get out, and I participate in my recovery. You know, I'm not always there just trying to be seen and whatnot. I'm there trying to help somebody else. And it's that simple. You know, it's that simple. Just go there, try to grip up a newcomer or something like that, or I talk to the older members or predecessors that's been around, and we just bust it up and keep it real simple. Like, it's just so easy, you know. Life it makes it a lot better and easier.
So what used to overwhelm me, right? When they say, you know, when they say one day at a time, but I used to say, you mean I can't never do that again?
Right.
And they change it. So that's when they say keep it simple, right?
Right.
Just keep it in the 24 hours, right? Cause like if you think about never, ever, never,
Right.
that's a whole lot to
That's
choose.
that's a whole lot. A whole lot. Yeah.
So that would make, like, I can't do this forever.
Yeah.
But listen, it's been forever. It's been like May 22nd is my clean day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's been forever for some days now, right?
Exactly.
And so man, listen, the process with me, man, it's been an easy road. It's been easy because I just get out the way, man.
Yeah.
I allow help to help me.
Exactly.
I ain't trying to tell. So let me say this. I ain't always trying to tell help how to help me, right? Because sometimes I want to be, I want to fix manage control.
Exactly. But when for instance, when I try that, it never works out right anyway. I always get in my own way.
Right.
I always sabotage my own self.
Right.
So that's why I know I gotta just back up, and I gotta take a lot of suggestions from people, because even my home group up in Norristown, even up there, right? They get up on me up there, like, yo, you fall back, you get a lot of character sometimes, you know what I mean? You come in here, you doing it, and I make people accept that, and that's all right with me, because at the same time, anybody can just come to me and latch on and be like, you know what, it's how we do certain things around here, and that's like when I start realizing that thing, like the sole purpose is to help this newcomer, when that new person come in that door, to be able to be there for them, to show them the way.
And you spoke about a home group. Mm-hmm. So what's a home group and how important is that to you?
Oh man, a home group, man, is just somewhere where I go every Friday, right? And I specifically made my home group on a Friday because I'm gonna be straight up, right? I used to get paid on Friday, and by 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, I was broke. I didn't spend my whole check. As soon as I got paid on Friday, I was done. I'm picking up cigarette butts off the ground, smoking cigarette butts.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I didn't spend my whole check. So I had to be very mindful on a Friday at 7:30, around about that time is where I need to be around a bunch of other people. So I have people that keep me accountable for showing up, doing that service work they talk about.
Right.
Like I got to go there and open up the meeting, I got to go there and make the coffee, just do the things that they done for me when I came in and made it welcome for me, and through some time now, I'm able to get further in service and, be able to be the treasurer for the home group, making sure the money getting distributed out to the right places and stuff like that. And it's not coming up missing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like all those type of things.
Right.
So yeah, my home group is just somewhere where I got a bunch of people and we meet every Friday and we bust it up,
Yeah, I ain't been out to a meeting in Norristown yet, but I'm gonna have to get out there.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna get you out there. As a matter of fact, I got a commitment coming up, so we already about to get busy. Yeah.
We definitely get together, man, and make that happen, man. Man, listen, man, I was happy to see you in there, man.
Always
what I mean? I'm happy to see, man, how you living, man. Yeah. Man, I see you all the time on Facebook. I don't see in the community as much. But man, you're a vision of hope for me, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's vice versa. It's the same thing here. Like that's exactly what what I feel. And it makes it that much easier when it's somebody you grew up with, somebody that you've been around, that you can actually do this with. Because, like, we've been through the same exact thing, we walk these same streets. We go back to heads into the grounds, like, this whole neighborhood, what it would be like on them Friday nights I'm talking about,
I remember we had that gang war, in front of my door.
There was so many times, so many things that happened. Yeah, we
fighting the hill.
We can go to numerous things that happen in our time coming up, Like, I'm going to talk about house parties, all that. But the fact of the matter is like what we want to give to this youth right now and show them that they don't have to walk that walk that we walk already. Like, you can have fun, you can do all that. But at a certain point, when that temptation comes to using these drugs and doing these crimes and stuff like that, you got to back away from that, Like that can ruin your life for a long time.
Man, it will ruin your life, man. It will ruin your life, man.
We see it.
But God's grace and mercy, man, got us through, man.
Yeah, man.
And he can do the same thing for the other people that he did for me and you.
Exactly.
Because, he ain't no respecter of persons, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And that's why I commend you for having this platform where you can bring people on and show show people that this can be done. Like it is an end where you don't have to go out. You don't have to die over this. You don't have to go to jail for the rest of your life or do a bid period. God got me through this so many times. You know, like right on my last run, I done some things that I probably shouldn't be here for. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I got through all that. You know what I mean? And I knew it was the time to shut all that down.
Yeah.
You know, and I got saved, and I was able to. You know what I mean? Like I think now, like I wouldn't dare do a crime right now. Like I wouldn't do any of that crazy nonsense I was doing because, like, man.
Restoration. So that's what recovery means. Restoration.
Right,
man.
exactly.
Restoring you to some sanity, man. Giving you your hopes and dreams back, man.
Exactly.
Like you know, giving you back.
Exactly.
Right? Just a better, you know what I mean, version, man.
Yeah.
So look, man, doesn't no matter what podcast, love you, baby.
Yeah, man. You know, like I said, man, you know, like when I first seen you gearing up to do this, that's why I jumped in your DMs like, look, man, let's go. You know what I mean? Because I know, you know, how you coming off, what you doing, what your platform is like, and that's what I'm about. You know what I mean? I'm about seriously about recovery now. You know what I mean? That whole stigma, like being an addict and all that, man. That's who I am. I ain't that thoroughboy that was running around and all that back in the day. I'm past that. That was then. Right now, I'm just trying to get another day clean, man, and show people that, especially the ones that see me out there, that see me now. You know what I mean? I'm doing pretty good for myself.
Yes,
you know?
you are, man.
I'm doing
and
pretty good.
that's what the platform was based on, man. Just trying to get our people, man. Cause we still got some homies out there, man.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And we gonna reach out to them.
And they peeping.
Yeah.
We see y'all, we like y'all, man.
It's all right,
But, you know, we coming to get y'all, man. You know what I mean?
It's right here. You know, all you gotta do is ask for help. I'll go out my way. I'll stop doing anything. I'll use a personal day from work to give you some help. You know, anything.
But you just remember the key word is help, right?
Yeah. And you gotta ask for it.
Yeah. So we're gonna segue out. Ben, you got any closing remarks, man?
Hey man, I just want to thank you, my brother, for putting this on.
I
You know,
appreciate
for
you.
inviting me out. You know what I mean? Because you know, like it takes a lot to come out here and do something like this. You know what I mean? And like I said, I talked to you the other day, man. I just been praying for you. You know what I mean? Just that you have the best success in your endeavors on what you're doing, and like no matter what, you know, we come from a neighborhood and an environment where we can help each other. No matter what, whatever you're doing, whatever I'm doing, whatever. At the end of the day, we just trying to help people.
That's
man.
it, man. That's it, man.
So I appreciate you, man.
I love you, baby.
Always.
And listen, no matter what,
Yeah.
if you don't pick it up, you won't get high. And that's how you stay fly. Peace.
Facts. You going on next?